For the most part, locals are they're really good people. And if you treat them with dignity and respect, you will be treated with dignity and respect back. Is there a dark side to Tulum and Mexico in general? Yeah, there is everywhere. But I mean, that happens all over the world. Tulum will either eat you up and spit you out, or you will embrace who you are and you'll feel empowered from it. So I feel very empowered from this place.
I'm here in the beautiful Holistica Hotel in Tulum. It's a very humid and tropical day. We're sitting in the garden here, and I am with Phoenix Sun from Canada. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up here in Tulum.
I'm a transformational facilitator. What brought me here is about 2 years worth of haggling from my friends that I need to come to Tulum and to share my truth. And interesting how that kind of all started is I've been a practicing metaphysician and transformation coach since me choosing to make my own transformations somewhat by accident. I started the metaphysical journey in 2002, and in 2005, I was actually in a work accident. So I had essentially been crushed between a tractor trailer truck and a loader to the size of my fist across my abdomen on my 33rd birthday. So then I had to do this thing called rebuilding yourself.
Yes, physically.
Yeah, mentally, emotionally. And it was an ardent journey, like crawling yourself from hell and learning how to walk again, 2.5 years of intensive rehab, and really delving deep into getting to know thyself, working through post-traumatic stress, limitations that are newly imposed on me on top of my already inherited ones from my previous life before I was crushed. And actually 6 months later is coming to a self-realization of falling in love with myself. It was actually then and there that I devoted myself to being in service. So that kind of turned into what we call the Phoenix Method, which encompasses the body, the mind, the emotions, and the spirit into one energetic, torical package.
So you would consider yourself like an energy healer, metaphysical healer, or guide. Can you contrast that with what you were doing before your accident? What was your daily life like?
I was still part-time practicing in metaphysics. I was very well known to be the go-to guy for ask him anything. He might just be dangerous enough to give you the answer. But what I was actually doing, I had graduated from university as an engineer, and from there, I was like, didn't know what to do with myself, and looking for work in my vocation, and it just happened to be at that time in technology there was a big saturation with people with my types of accreditations. So I found myself in a place called Alberta, Canada, which is called the Alberta Opportunity if you're interested in the oil industry. And I ended up finding myself working on the oil rigs. So that's where my accident happened. But even prior to that, I've done a lot of different things and found myself inspired to be, the best of what I can for myself and for the organization. So I've sold cars. I run my own marketing company. I'm trying to look back at who the hell I was. I've worn so many hats. And, I'm still like that today, even as a transformation coach. I'm still actively involved in business development and also in real estate, anything I can make this world a better place. If I'm a conduit for it and I have a passion towards it, I'm probably leading myself down that path. So yeah, it's kind of a broad answer to a specific question. I wish I could be more specific.
It's okay. We all come from very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pit stops along the way. Were you also born in Canada?
Yeah, I was born in Edmonton, Alberta. And I had spent half of 14 years there, and then had moved to Toronto for a few years, finished high school, and then ended up back on the West Coast on a place called Vancouver Island in Victoria. Yeah, I love it there. And then ended up back in Alberta to do the work, and then back on the West Coast in where my healing journey really truly began in White Rock, which is right on the West Coast US border. yeah, that was back, I guess, 2007, and going back that far.
For anyone who's had a very traumatic physical injury, what would you say were the most impactful steps that you took to get your health back?
Well, I think the first one is not being satisfied of being a victim. That's like the biggest one. As I, go back into that time, like I was an athlete, so, potentially semi-professional in hockey, really good at all sports. And I guess the word you call it proverbial jock, so to speak. And when you have your physicality taken away from you, that you like literally, I had to kind of rediscover parts of myself.
Your identity.
Yeah, it's like creating a new identity. And so that was a bit of a process. And being in wellness and health, I wasn't really being subservient to the system that was being placed in front of me, which was, drug cocktails. I kind of worked the system as much as I could in the sense of what it could provide for me. And then realizing that it's just going to lead me into this state of victimization. So I think that's one of the first steps, was recognizing that I'm a creator of my own experience, and I'm not a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of those steps is working through PTSD, and, having, being crushed is probably, from my point of view, is I don't wish that for anyone. Most people don't live from that experience. I'm a 0.001% story of survival.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ratio, where most people would die by bleeding to death, by being, squished.
Right, or a car accident or something like that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have broken bones, or maybe not as bad, hopefully. But yeah, recovering from a car accident. I had a friend that got in an accident where a bungee cord snapped off of her bicycle and took out her eye.
Oh, wow.
And
Random.
she said it was also mostly psychological, that she had to decide, okay, am I going to be angry about this for the rest of my life and feel like, why did this happen to me? Or am I just going to accept it, like live with it and move on and just try to make the best of it? And she went from working on yachts, traveling all around the world, to now she still works on boats, but she rents out houseboats on Airbnb. And it's a very physical job, and she's able to do that. And, she's still very young. I think she's in her early 30s. So whenever something small happens to me, I just think of Sarah, and I'm like, what would Sarah do? She would just power right through. So
how inspiring. And I think that was for me, it's just not being satisfied with, this is how my life is supposed to be. And knowing that when I died, I came back, and that was a choice. And so I had a second chance. There's something more to offer, not only for myself and my soul in my life here, but to be that for others, to inspire others. So I was literally went from like 215 to 280 pounds over the course of this time. I remember being at Walmart, picking up these two, I call them Grimace sweaters. Grimace is a character from McDonald's.
Yeah.
He's the big purple guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily purple. It's just that he was a big blobby guy. And I'm looking at these sweaters because I'm not going to spend any money. They're cheap. And I'm like, you know what? This cannot happen any longer. It took a long time for my insides to actually start working. Like my organs were all displaced, being crushed. So I took matters in my own hands with my lifestyle. So that would be the next thing, is just eating in a particular way that can allow my body to remove not only the inflammation and the acidity, but the fat cells that were holding this inflammation and acidity. And then coupled with that, with working on the mind with meditations and different types of techniques. I got trained in emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, which really helped me deal with managing my emotions in the moment, especially if I got triggered by traffic. Just PTSD happens in so many strange ways. And then I just multiple trainings in metaphysics, and taking on different modalities and really going for it and recreating my own experiences. Like, number one, like for me, embracing my lifestyle program, I adopted the PH Miracle, and I lost all that weight in 3.5 months. Went from 280 to 205, 204 in all that time, and recognizing that my whole life was starting to shift and change as well. So one thing I noticed is when your vibration uplifts on a physical level, your mental cognition changes, and how you deal with emotions change too. And what I came to realize is that emotions are actually just stored in memory in your body. And when you lift up your vibration, sometimes these emotions can't hold that bondage signature anymore. So then they get re-released. And so what was happening for me is that as these emotions were coming up, I was doing it with more ease and grace rather than the grind of the suffering of it. So that was sort of some of the realizations I had in the journey. And to strive, what was I truly striving for? Is self-love. Is really what it came down to. Is I really wanted to love myself, and I wasn't loving myself. I didn't actually know what love meant, or even really truly felt like, until I actually experienced it. And that was in 2012.
How do you define love?
Love is like the solvent to everything, to all life's problems. So it's for me, it's like a body of water, and there's no bondage to it. It's just free flowing. Electricity just flows free, and the feeling of it is just you're totally free in this space, and the vibration it creates, it's there's no corruption in it. It's such a happy, freeing feeling. It's like you're walking on water, and that's how I would describe it.
I'm curious so you seem like a very aware person, a very happy person. Do you go different places in the world to provide the setting for that? Like, do you feel the way that you feel now in your health and your body the same way in Canada versus being here in Tulum? Or have you noticed that going to different places can support you in your health and your mental state in other ways?
That's a really good question. When I first started this practice, I did do a bit of traveling within Western Canada, and did some zipping down into the States. And what I do recognize is there's something about the sun that is so amazing, and it feels so amazing. And in particularly, what you asked the question earlier, what brought you to Tulum? And I said 2 people were telling me for a few years that I should come down. And then my girlfriend, she lived in Cancun, and she's like, you know what? You need to be in Tulum. Tulum is such a very unique place. Like here we're at a place called Holistica, which is like one of the most beautiful, amazing resorts in Tulum. It's a very spiritually minded resort. I love it here. So just a shout out to them right now.
Yeah, we just walked through a nature art gallery.
Yeah.
So literally paintings and murals and sculptures that are embedded into the jungle. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen. So yeah, we'll link to everything we mention in the show notes or in the comments below.
Yeah. So if you don't know about Tulum is in an energetic vortex. So, and it's all water. So underneath. And so what I noticed, there's 3 places I've been to in the world that have given me this sense of feeling. And for me, it's a very empowering. Like I hear from people that Tulum will either eat you up and spit you out, or you will embrace who you are and you'll feel empowered from it. So I feel very empowered from this place. So the 3 other places to me that remind me of that is Sedona and Byron Bay in Australia on the East Coast. So yeah, Tulum is a very magical place. And I've never actually been to a place anywhere around the world where I've met so many heart-minded people, where I can just get right into being real. Back in Canada, people are looking down. They can't seem to really engage. I'm an eagle eye type of guy. I'm a Scorpio, so I look people in the eye. Like I need to engage people in the eye. I'm looking for your soul, right? The soul to soul stuff. So for me, here is like you do that, and you can get really real and raw, and don't have to talk about bullshit. You can just be real. So traveling around, this place is obviously very amazing. And as far as like really being really just exposing myself to traveling with being in practice, like so far away from Canada, like this is a great proving ground for me for doing that.
Yeah, how would you describe the culture here for people who haven't been to Tulum, as far as both the local side and also this integration with tourism and foreigners, travelers, spiritual seekers? It runs the gamut.
You know, I'd never seen a place that had so many yoga offerings in every single business or hotel resort in my life. I'm like, what is this place? I have no idea. I had no idea what it was until I got here. Let me say it this way: there's a bit of everything here. Like, there's beautiful white magic here, and there's a lot of black magic here as well.
Dark sides.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, you know, and there's a lot of spiritual bypassing stuff here too. And, you know, like I've worked with clients who have worked through that, and they need to reintegrate. And so I see there's a lot of potential quick fix stuff that people just come for the experience, and it's very popular. And you know, I actually don't have a judgment or bias against any of it. You know, you attract who you are and what you're looking for. And so Tulum is a pretty good place for that. If you're looking to open your heart, you're gonna attract heart-minded people. If you're looking for, you know, opening your sacral chakra more, you might attract more tantric type of people, or maybe you'll attract yoga. I you know, it's like it's all relative. And so for someone who's on the journey, just want to open themselves up to an experience, there's so much to do here. And then living here, it's like at times hard to be focused because you're being invited to do so much stuff, and you're meeting so many new people, and all these people are making offerings, and then there's exchanges, and it's just like, yeah, at first to me it's almost being like at spiritual high school. This is what it feels like. Like energetic high school, because it's just,
you can take any class you want.
Yeah,
you just enroll in a class,
and it's a hustle bustle. Like, you know, like you're always being marketed, solicited. You're always engaging people. Everything's like, and it's all very mostly positive. And then there's the other side. There's like, I've never seen so many people go through breakups in this community as well, because it really tests the waters of where people are needing to have resolution or get resolve. And, you know, I went through even that experience myself here. So, you know, but I'm going to let people know, right, that the heart wins every time. Like, love is the solution. So if you're choosing anything other than that, well, then it's probably, for the most part, it's going to look ugly.
So you know? Your girlfriend is from Canada, correct?
Yeah.
But she was living in Cancun, and now you live together in Tulum? Or
so
she...
Yeah, so she's actually a mortgage broker and financial planner in Canada. And so right, you know, she bought a condo in Cancun to basically try to exit the system. So she's been very influential for me for actually moving here. Basically, I had a gym back in Canada with my partner, and I just packed my bags and shared the keys back to my partner and brought 3 bags and say, I'm going for it. I'm just let everything go to come here.
And how many years has she been staying down here?
Only a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the common challenges that you find like foreign couples that are moving here experience? Learning
the language is, like, I think, one of the challenges. And, you know, for the most part, locals they're really good people. Like, they have good hearts, and if you treat them with dignity and respect, you will be treated with dignity and respect back. If you're looking to kind of fool around with drugs and shit, that's where I think people get themselves into trouble, and you hear the horror stories. Is there a dark side to Tulum and Mexico in general? Yeah, there is everywhere. There's someone getting mugged every day. You know, I'm sure someone might die every week, but I mean, that happens all over the world. So, you know, I've definitely been in a situation where I seen a gun pulled in front of me.
In
and
Tulum.
yeah, because some guy was sporting his Rolex watch, and you're just asking for trouble for stuff like that. So and everyone had to duck down, and I'm not afraid of this stuff. I mean, my time's up.
You've already gotten at least 1 or 2 second chances.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So stuff like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And this community, Tulum, for example, is in a massive growth phase. Like just in Mexico in general, the Mayan Riviera, they're having the Playa train being built, the international airport in Tulum's being built. The corridor for Mexico, for example, it's becoming an international trade hub. So they're moving away from Panama Canal, and all the resources from West Coast to East Coast is going to be moving through Mexico. So there's billions and billions of dollars being allocated for this growth of the Mayan Riviera. So there's nothing but really actually opportunity if you're willing to slug it out and go along with the process. The other thing about Mexico is that, I find people here like that are not from Mexico. It's like, get a bit wishy-washy, like where you have expectations for times and meetings, and people all of a sudden don't seem to always respect time. And
from any culture, you mean?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, we'll be there too. And then it's like, it's 4.
Yeah.
Hey, hi.
I've definitely experienced that.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah,
it's like,
in the 2 weeks.
So when you're running a practice, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Right. So I see that, it depends on what goes on. The power goes out here a lot. So I really feel for all the businesses when the power goes out, because they don't make any money.
Yeah.
Basically. And so that's a common thing. And with power outages, your Wi-Fi goes out. So obviously being a digital nomad, there's some concerns there. I know for myself, plan from Canada would have a North American wide plan. And I just make sure I have LTE wherever I go. And then I got my maximum bandwidth. I have 150 gigabytes a month. So
which plan or provider do you use?
I was with a company called Rogers out of Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably worth like $100 a week payment to me just for mentioning that, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely recommend bringing your internet with you if you're coming to many parts of Mexico, but including Tulum. I had my power go out, my internet went out. So you want to bring a hotspot with you. I'll link to a few that I use in this video's description or in the show notes. And I'm curious also, so you've been here for 6 months now.
Yeah.
You're going to be leaving soon for your visa run or to go back and do some work in Canada.
Yeah.
Have you made any friends with people, or maybe your girlfriend, like that were living here and kind of got fed up and left and went back to their home countries? Or have you heard any stories like that?
For the most part, most of the people that I met, I've had really powerful type of connections. I guess the only one that would come up with that was the couple that had their watch stolen from the guy. And when I actually did some emotional freedom work with her and the group of people for the trauma after. So when I was talking with her, she mentioned that this always happens to her. And I'm like, I go, really? She says, yeah, when I was in such and such, I got robbed. And it happened like 3 times where she's had these really bad experiences. So I'm like, okay, well, there's something about your field that's attracting that. So, but out of everyone else, no, I think everyone really loves their time here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're here in the most magical, beautiful place in the world and you're bitching and complaining, you seem to be missing something here.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's sunny. You have the most beautiful beaches and the waters on the planet. And if you're not happy, then you should really book some time with me.
Yes, there could be some things going on there.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had a few trying days of administrative days, you could say, where I was going to the bank and doing lots of things. And I started to feel that like frustration and just not feeling happy. And then I had to remind myself and go to the beach the next morning and see the sunrise and just
Yeah.
put my feet in the sand and look at the water and go in the water and just remember how lucky I am to be able to work from anywhere and to choose to be here. And yeah, it's just, and last night I went out to Palma Central, which is like
Yeah,
this
I was
Were
gonna
you
go,
there?
and
Oh,
I just the last minute I elected not to go. So I was gonna mention to you to go there because
Yeah.
it's pretty happening on Tuesday
it's
nights.
fun. They have salsa dancing. They had fire
Yeah.
dancing performance. But I was just observing the crowd, and it was just such a unique blend of locals. And you can even tell from the Mexican accents, like that people were from maybe Mexico City or other parts of Mexico.
Yeah.
Foreigners from all around the world. At the table I was at, there were people speaking Hebrew. There was a girl and a guy from Finland. There were just a woman from Belgium. I mean, it's like all these different people in one place. And I was thinking there's not that many places in the world where you can experience that.
Right.
But
Very
Tulum is one of
true.
those places.
Very true.
Yeah.
I met so many people from around the world here, and I'm really thankful that they all spoke English.
Right. Have you learned any Spanish? Or it
You-
can be hard when a lot of people speak English. Even I speak fluent Spanish, and when I speak Spanish, people talk to me often in English. I just look
Right.
American,
Right.
or U.S. citizen.
You know, I have to be honest, like I've definitely dropped the ball.
It
And
happens.
I did start, and then it's like whatever the brain fart that I have on that, I just tell myself I have some subconscious limiting beliefs I need to work on, which thank goodness I'm trained in.
Yes.
So I have to book an appointment for myself on that
Yeah.
particular one. But
Plant that seed that you can't learn a second language.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I did. I think when I was a bit younger, I could have been not even dangerous, but close to being dangerous with a little bit of French just to get by, being from Canada. But you know, I don't really remember anything from there
Yeah.
either. So, but yes, I mean, Spanish is such a beautiful language. I notice people do tend to speak a little fast. But you know what? If you make the effort, they do make the effort back, which
Right.
is very, very mindful of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they seem very open to tourism and really
Totally.
embracing it. And it seems like such an integrated part of the society here. Whereas some areas that are tourist destinations, it feels very artificial. Like there's like the locals and the tourists, but here there's definitely more of a harmony, I would say, even though, you know, people will say, locals will tell me, oh, it's dangerous and things do happen. My friend Amanda got mugged for her cell phone. I mean, things happen everywhere. I
Yeah.
saw a girl get mugged in Costa Rica. Like, it
Yeah.
happens, but
I've had one of my friends get mugged here the other day, and it's like, really? And it's like, yeah. And then, you know, she's like a very spiritual, affluent person in this community, and she's wondering, how did I attract this?
bad things can happen to good people.
Yes,
I remember
yes.
I was in Nicaragua. This was 2008. And a guy was on this trip through Central America. It was the first week of his 3 or 6 month journey through Latin America. He was meditating every morning. And the third day he was there, his surfboard hit him in the chin, actually knocked out a bunch of teeth. He had to get his jaw wired shut. And this guy, he was so nice. He was so peaceful, harmonic. And then boom, out for, you know, a while. Couldn't eat, was, you know,
Wow.
drinking through straws. And
Yep.
I remember that really stuck with me. I thought, you could meditate every day and with the sunrise and be a very good person, and then get hit in the head with your surfboard. So it's
That's
just
it.
sometimes things happen.
It is. It's true. It's
Yeah.
very so true.
Can you give us, now that you've been here for 6 months and
Yeah.
you've developed a routine and you know your way around, you have scooter, everything, can you give us some insight into what is a typical day in the life, or even like a week in the life living here?
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, being on the West Coast, I was a bit of a sunset guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so being here on the East Coast, got to be more of a sunrise guy. And so I can be honest, I haven't been as successful with that, but catching a sunrise here is absolutely magical. So I have like morning rites and routines that I like to incorporate, like with affirmations, doing a meditation, taking my liter of greens upon waking, and then assimilating yourself with the normal habitual things you do. And then I like to, if I'm not making my smoothie for the day, then which I just fill up my blender, and it's so Mexico because it's avocado, cucumber, coconut, and lime as the base. And you could drink that all day long and be happy. But if I'm not in that sort of cleanse mode, then I go get my coffee. There's depends on where I go. There's so many freaking amazing places to go to. There's an amazing crepe place called Jungle Juice here. Local kitchen. There's La Pabita that has a great coffee place. The OT, which is a cacao cafe, is amazing. That would be like kind of a ritual my partner and I would do. We'd go for a morning coffee, maybe grab breakfast, and then try to be back by 10:30 or so, and then do some work. Ideally my days would be like working for 4 to 6 hours a day. That's it. And then have myself free to head to the beach at around 2:30, 3 o'clock, to just do the rest of the afternoon at the beach. And then once or twice a week, there's a rooftop down at the beach I go to. There's two of them, and I'd go up there to watch sunset.
Is that Azulik?
One was called Mateo's. Yeah, so that would be like my afternoon, evening, and then it's like go home, get changed. If we're not eating in, then we're going out to somewhere nice for dinner, or we're participating in an event. Like I have been part of a men's group here called Mentorship. It's actually it was started and originated here, but it's a worldwide men's group. So it's a place where men can gather to talk about their stuff. And, there's a nice blend of people who are actually like myself, facilitators. And then there's also people, just normal people. And it's a great networking and a space for men who can be men. And they have a women's networking group here too, or a women's talk group too. So, there's always something to do to feel your heart with, I call it, rather than your time. Because when you're feeling your heart, you're filling that up with timelessness. But ultimately, like the going out part for me is the opportunity to share my craft and to network. For this time that I was here every Friday night, I ran a workshop here at a place called Espiritu or Hoya Camp, and it was called Journey Through the Chakras of the Subconscious. And it was actually a newly developed program I wrote while here, so that creativity really came forward here. And every week we worked on a different chakra center relating to subconscious limiting beliefs. So it was very powerful. And of course I worked on a cell therapy clinic here in town as well. And in there we do comparatives before and after with people who are either getting stem cell therapy, exosome therapy, NAD, IV cocktails, and proven out like the process of what healing looks like with these types of therapies. And that's called Vortex Vitality and Leaf Spa here right in Tulum. So cutting edge stuff. And then of course private practice working at home is also the benefit.
Yeah, that seems like a great mix of your day, and a lot of rejuvenation time, and a lot of balance with your work hours, which is really nice. And I've even noticed this happens a lot when I travel, but I don't even turn on the TV when I'm in places like this. I do have a little bit of a phone habit at night, like look at Instagram or something, but
I call it dopamine habit.
Yeah, dopamine habit. But not that feeling of like, oh, I have nothing to do, so I guess I'll watch Netflix. It's like, I forget. I have a giant TV in my apartment. I haven't even turned it on, but there's always something to do at night. And even yesterday I wrote in my journal, it was an eventful day because it's like from sunrise to beyond sunset, there's just so many things going on. And now that I'm leaving in a couple days, I'm so sad and I wish I was staying. So I would recommend if you come here to however long you think you want to stay, just double it. And that's probably okay.
Absolutely.
Kristin here. If you're looking to get away this summer, then why not join me in Costa Rica? There are still 2 early bird spots left for our group trip to Costa Rica, August 9th through 12th, 2024. If you want to join me and members of the Traveling with Kristin community in the beautiful Gulf of Papagayo in the northwest Guanacaste province of Costa Rica for a nice, relaxing, long weekend filled with amazing food, coffee, beaches, sunsets, hot springs, and more, then use the link in the show notes to reserve your place today with just a 25% deposit, and you can save $150 on the price of the trip. Just check out our link at the top of the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you in Costa Rica this summer.
One of the things I recognize about Tulum, and it's a bit of an anomaly for other parts of Mexico, Tulum and Cabo seem to be the most expensive places in Mexico.
Yes.
So one of the things is that there is ways where it can be less expensive. First of all, is like long-term rentals is definitely one way to make sure your rent is lower. And then secondly is finding the local eat spots. There's places in town to do the when it's taco night for me, like I can get the 25 peso tacos, and it's like you got so many little vegetable and stands and stuff. Is that just you can eat for less.
Fruit markets,
the fruit and vegetables, vendors, like you got so many avocados and limes and so you can do it for less, but don't get caught up. My trap when I first got here is like I was in holiday mode and I blew so much good money on food, unbelievable.
If you eat at the tourist restaurants, it's the same as eating in Miami. You can spend $15 on a smoothie bowl. You can spend $50 on dinner. $25 for a meal versus you could get 5 tacos for 60 pesos, which is like $3.
Yeah. And that's why I do my juices and my smoothies during the day.
Yeah.
And that way I'm taking care of myself and doing what's necessary in my body to process toxicity. And then at night, it's like,
treat yourself.
you can treat yourself, from a wellness point of view, like we're talking about, you're an energy bank, you're making deposits or withdrawals depending upon how you eat, live, think, and feel. So, if I'm doing some good things all day long, drinking my greens powders and then doing my smoothie, if I happen to resort to something strange or obscure that my ego is calling out from like childhood emotionality, I don't feel bad doing it. Right?
You have some pizza, maybe.
I have some pizza. There's a place called La Piscine here on Cal 7.
It was closed yesterday.
It has such an awesome vibe. The music, they have this awesome beat per minute, and you just roll with the beat per minute, and the ambience and the color and lighting in there is so cool. I actually go there twice a week.
Okay, everyone has mentioned it to me, so it's right next to my house. I'll have to go. Well, can you also speak a little bit about the medical tourism industry here and some of the reasons that people travel here for medical issues, and maybe why they get the stem cell therapy and kind of the cost of that?
Yeah, I mean, people obviously are looking to places like Mexico and other maybe tertiary countries because the cost for medical treatment is less expensive. And, for example, the clinic that I'm been privy to work out of, and it's been quite fun to have an integrative approach, is that everyone gets to work with the client. And in a fashion, a way that's actually productive for them to have positive results. So, what we can do or have done is like set people up at a place where they can stay, and then they have access to the facility. If they want to invest in, like, say, from working with me, I can put them on a it's a cleanse, but it's a feast. You can have as much as you want, but a cleansing program. I can coach with them every day. We can do work on meditation techniques to raise their energy, open their energy channels, to working through emotions and all that stuff. So, for me, it's a one all come all place. And then you have all these other options that you can create your own customized wellness program. you know, and that was one thing I learned. Like I did a business retreat when I came here, and not only did we do business, but we went to Temescal, we went to cenote, we went for beach for meditation. Like I had to have a scooter to buck around town for 5 days to doing all these events and different things. But it really got me to know the town, and not only that, gave me exposure to different types of modalities that we, you know, I did yoga, we did mantra singing, like we did everything, like 5 days filled up 8 hours a day. It was like so much fun. So like myself with other colleagues that I met here, it's like, hey, we, you know, collaborations have always been in the mindset. Like I just did a 7-day retreat down in Bacalar called 4D yoga retreat. And it's with these amazing people, Colin Heike, who are basically sacred geometry specialists, I'll call them. And Bacalar is another beautiful place for people who are looking to experience Mexico. Bacalar is known as the 7 chakras and waters. It's kind of reminds me of Maldives.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's just absolutely stunning and beautiful.
How far from here?
2.5 hours from Tulum.
South,
okay. Yeah, towards Belize.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh gosh, and I want to come back already.
I'm moving there, so my goal is September to move there and give it a 6-month season.
Okay.
Rather than Tulum, and then if I'm working up here, I just bank my days when I'm coming. I'm used to traveling to drive to go places, so if I have to travel to go somewhere for 2 hours, 2-hour drive is nothing to me. It's like whatever. I'm not like a city dweller that can't leave, you know, 15 minutes to go anywhere. Oh, it's too far. Like her city dwellers are like that all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit past that consciousness.
So what's next for you? You go back to Canada for a while, do some work, and then come back here.
Yeah. So what's next for me is so I have a couple of facilitators who facilitate ayahuasca and coaching, and I actually had the privilege of working one of them out here. And the realization for Kayla, is her name, is that what I offer is something very integrated for people as they come out of their journey to kind of ground back into, you know, their everyday reality. And is exactly something that she's been looking for. And actually her mom is a facilitator too. So they've asked me to come back to Canada, and they go, what would it take to get you to come back here? I'm like, keeping me busy.
Yeah.
So they said, well, that's not a problem. We can keep you busy here. So I probably have a month's plus worth of work just through that porthole alone with them. And for me, what a busy work day is no more than 4 clients a day.
Right.
And as you can see, the body of work that we did was pretty intense. And I think I spent a little longer with you too. I think we spent like 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Was it really?
Yeah, but it went by pretty good, right?
Yeah. We did. I did a blood analysis. Very fascinating. Just take a drop of blood, look at it under the microscope, and just look at everything that's going on. And you get this whole report. Yeah. If people are interested in learning more about what you do, where can they find you?
That's a really good one, because I lost my old phone for 3 weeks. I had no phone, and then when I got my new one, my 2 business accounts I cannot even access anymore. So that was called Blood Analysis Tulum and Phoenix Sen SEN official. But I still have my personal one, which is Phoenix Risen 72. Okay. So I might just have to resort back to using that one.
Well, thank you so much, Phoenix, for sharing your Tulum experience and your world travel experience with us. And very glad that you were able to recover from your injuries. I'm glad we connected and that you could share with us here today. And
yeah, I really appreciate it.
Paths will cross again.
I really appreciate your time and your energy, and obviously to your digital community, you know, wonderful work and service that she's providing to everyone in her group. And yeah, definitely exploring Mexico, Tulum, Bacalar, and all those areas. If you ever want me on your show again, I'd be happy to give you the updates.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Namaste.